Hello everyone, Night Guy here, and I have with me one of the first functional swords that I ever picked up. This is brought to me through Snakeyetactical. Um, I don't know if they're the ones that make these swords, but they're definitely selling them. I guess maybe they're just a distributor. Anyhow, um, or just retailer. But anyhow, moving on. This piece uh, is quite a beast of a sword. This is the 15th century. Let me double check that, make sure I have the specs right on that. The 15th century longsword. Handcrafted by Warrior Replicas. So that is, here's some of the specs there. Not specs, where I got my information from. This is on the selling. I bought these off of eBay. Warrior Replicas. It's what I was starting to figure. I have quite a few from their catalog. Um, Here's some of the specs right there. Size, weight, blade length, etc. Carbon steel content. So it says we have overall size of 45.5 inches, 36.5 inches on the blade length. Blade width is about 1/16 of an inch. Thickness 3/16. 1065 slash 1095 high carbon steel. Not really sure how that works out. Leather scabbard, leather handle. We have this is definitely a fully tanged blade. I can definitely verify that. It says razor sharp edge, but that's to be debated. We'll get into that in a second when I take it out of the scabbard. 3.4 ounces, just the sword alone. 4.5 ounces with the scabbard. This is definitely a hefty sword. Let me double check that because this feels heavier, honestly, than, 3.4 ounces. This to me definitely feels a little bit heavier than 3.4 ounces, but I guess it's about right. This is a 3-pound dumbbell. I like using my dumbbells as a reference point. I'm going to go ahead and break this out. And yeah, if you just hold it straight up, it's barely over 3 pounds. So oddly enough, 3 pounds may not sound very heavy. I would say in sword terms, definitely a little on the heavier side. But here you have the sword out of the scabbard. I'll try to get that all in frame for you there. Show that all off. Not much I could say about it. It's pretty solid. Definitely verify that it is, carbon steel. It's got a little tarnish on it. These, like I mentioned earlier, these are some of the earliest blades that I got my hands on. It's said to retail at $200, which is pretty inexpensive for a functional sword. They're selling it for only $179 at the moment. I don't believe that I paid that much for it. I want to say I paid about $160 this piece when I got it. They do take offers. eBay, you can bid on things and give private offers. But while it's not the most expensive piece, I don't know how authentic these specs or these features are to a 15th century longsword. I feel they're probably a little bit bulky, but I do really like the design. I feel like it's definitely at least inspired by some medieval swords. You have these nifty little guards here, which is pretty nice. Almost a forward swept, kind of like semi-forward swept guard, cross guard. I like forward swept cross guards. I want to say this is similar to a scent stopper pommel, but I'm not really sure. I couldn't tell you how it's fixed on there. It's definitely not threaded, probably welded on there. No, I don't see any peening, so I'm going to say that it is a welded tang. I like the handle. I'm not a big fan that it's, completely rounded. It makes it a little difficult in getting your edge alignment. But what I used when I did my cuts, I did upload some practice cuts with this sword recently. Go ahead and check out that video. I used here, you'll see where the wrap meets the stitching. I kind of, lined up my knuckles there. And that is what I used as my, reference point for edge alignment. And it worked pretty well. I do really like this nice wire wrap that it has. Pretty cool. Nice fuller that runs a little more than half of the blade, I want to say, maybe almost 2/3 of the blade. The fuller doesn't go all the way in to the tang. I wish it did, but that's common with these, a common feature on these less expensive blades. Almost has two smaller fullers, I guess you could call those there. And if you notice, the blade edge doesn't start there. So essentially you could kind of grab it and maneuver it like that, almost like a great sword, or Spodune, Montante, whatever you want to call them, Zweihander. But this is definitely no great sword. I will call this a war sword. I like the scabbard. I'll go ahead and show that off real fast. Little metal cap on the end, wooden scabbard with a leather wrap, genuine leather used on all of these. So I will tell you, for the money, you're not really, gonna be hurting too bad or regretting it too bad, depending how you set your expectations. This is probably not going to be the best or the closest to a competition sword. The cheapest competition sword I found right now is Cold Steel. They have about $300 for one of their competition swords. So, I got this one for a little over $160 at the time. It's almost half the price. And I don't know, those prices may have went up. But what I got for the money, I can't complain. My expectations were that these were cool looking swords to buy and display. I had them displayed in my old house. If you've seen in my old videos, a lot of these are on the wall. Had them displayed before I did any cuts with them whatsoever, before I swung them at anything or attempted any thrusts. Just based off of the fact that I got cat hair floating everywhere in this house. This apartment. Based off of the fact that a lot of display pieces that look equally or even less cool can run the same price, for that cost, you might as well get something that's functional. And this definitely does have a function. It can cut things. I've definitely demonstrated that in my cut tests. Hasn't fallen apart on the cuts. Now I haven't tried cutting into anything hard, any tough targets, but I will. As far as razor sharp, it's definitely sharp, but the edge work needs a little to be desired. You can see it's kind of not even. If you could see that close enough there, the edge grind is very almost gritty. Not much of a good thrusting tip on there. It's kind of almost blunted or rounded, but for the money, it does cut. The balance, oh man, let me see if I could find that balance point for you. Is pretty high up on the blade, I'm gonna say. For my preference, it's not really balanced the best, right about there. So very blade heavy. Let me go ahead and wipe that off. And see, I can rub into my gambeson. I didn't cut anything. So that should tell you, definitely not razor sharp. But it does have an edge on it. It will cut things. Let's see, I have a piece of cardboard here. I can run that across. See, it gave it a little cut. Nothing too substantial. We'll do it the other way. See? Cuts in. Not like butter, but it cuts. And that's all I can really say. For the money, I was pleased with what I got. Can't complain. Beast of a sword. This thing is huge. And seems like they tried to make it functional. They tried to at least live up to that. That it can function, it can cut, it can thrust, and shouldn't break at least. If you're running tests or cutting things relatively similar to what a sword would be cutting, which is I guess often up for debate. I don't think swords are designed to cut through steel or solid, stone or wood. I feel there are tools that are better designed for that. I feel these are implements made to take out soldiers on medieval battlefields, and or in duels, other warriors in duels. So you're pretty much talking soft, fleshy targets with a little bit of bone in them. If you're using the historical context, obviously I don't. I primarily only cut water bottles. But another interesting thing about this piece, I do need to downsize on some of my inventory from my armory, and this piece will be going bye-bye. What I've decided to do, what I do with a lot of my extra pieces aside from gifts, um, my two buddies that train with me quite often, I'm gonna try to get together with them again, and we're gonna have a little melee, and we're gonna armor up and bring out some of our training weapons, some of our blunted training weapons, and we're gonna go at it with those. And whoever performs the best, who wins the matches, will be rewarded with this piece. Um, if it's yours truly that wins the matches, then I'll just give it away to whoever I thought performed the best. So that's it. This is the 15th century longsword made by Warrior Replicas, sold by Snakeyetactical. All right, Night Guy here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you see, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And I hope you all have a great day.